Hello hero, it's Lucy Lannon. It's good to see you. You've seen the title, so at this stage you know more about today's reading than I do, since I speak to you from the recent alternate past. This is a general, timeless one, ideally designed for quite a large audience, so we won't get as specific as we would in a private booking, link down below. If most of what I'm saying feels like an answer to a question you've been living, take those tidbits with you and let a fellow traveller excavate the rest. If it's not your reading, there are playlists on my channel hub to randomise finding something else. Whilst it's true that a broken clock is right twice a day, I'm not sure that same clock is right 10 times within the hour. So trust yourself, above all, to know what's useful for you and what makes you feel more empowered for hearing it, no matter what your beliefs. While we're on beliefs, on this channel gendered terms are just a specificity of language to describe energetic tendencies and signatures, solar or lunar inclination in accordance with a hermetic law of polarity, and not any kind of socialisation to buy into wholesale or conflate with the identity or orientation of anyone described. Romantic and spiritual labels used are plucked from lengthy precedent predating any unfortunate trending controversies or engineered cyclical backlash. My dude, around these parts, we don't relinquish the complexity of our full histories. We trust ourselves cognitively to adapt what we consume and see what's healthy and long-term accurate. I'm legally obliged to say this is entertainment in quote marks and that I'm an occultist not qualified in unrelated disciplines to advise on physical and mental health, finances, legalities. You get the picture, you're in charge of you. All my readings are protected and warded by frankly magnificent beneficial forces, though I don't share my custom prep rituals on camera any more than I give out my address. I hope the reasoning behind that is obvious, but you can trust there are zero parasitic or adversarial influences permitted within 100 unseen paces of any signal we patch from the noise here today. So sit back, relax into the shape of your most luminous possible future self, cozy up to imaginal allies, and take in whatever it is you need to hear. If you do like it, this small channel with a big mission very much appreciates subscriptions, thoughtful comments, or donations in order to spread the word and keep the lights on. Now, let's tune that dial. Right, okay. Your word is variety. We've definitely had a variety of readings in this recording. Hoping this one will be a little bit cheerier than the last. Let's get your Jim Henson Mega Deck cards first, because they tend to lighten the mood, and I certainly am in need of that at the moment. We've got a Nine of Swords depicting Sarah and Ludo in Labyrinth. Then another Labyrinth card. We have the Fire Gang, which is the Three of Pentacles. Like the guy said, don't lose your head. And we've got an Ace of Pentacles depicting the Uru having their ceremony in the dark crystal. Okay, what are we getting from these initially? Variety. Well, there's a variety of social groups going on here for a start. We've got absolute besties with Ludo and Sarah. We've got the Fire Gang causing chaos for everybody else, but really seeming to have a good relationship with each other in the sense that they can exchange heads and still be quite alright. You know, having your friend's head on your body is not something we're all close enough to do, but they seem quite alright with it. And then we've got the Uru in what is partly like a symbiotic relationship, partly a supportive tribal community, and partly like a magical working going on at the bottom bit. It's very much like a sacred ceremony, and they've also invited something from another species to be part of that. So again, it's this expansive, various idea of friendship. So you've got like a soulmate Two of Cups type thing with a very chaotic like, oh no, do I want to be friends with these friends thing. And then you've got what seems to be like a really functional magical group who are also kind of intertwined with each other in like if you haven't seen the Dark Crystal, that they're kind of, when they're injured, the other side are injured in counterpart kind of ways, in the sense of like good and evil are intertwined with each other and interesting with each other, and there's a kind of relationship there. So this is a gathering of friends within a gathering of souls, right? So again, variety of people, variety of circumstance. What are your messages that have come out? In my DIY deck, we've got I love your whole vibe with a little heart. That's nice. We've got, truthfully, I would give up everything for you if you asked. Again, very sweet. A little risky, but very sweet. And we've got what we need to address here is what's being put on a pedestal and why. The plot thickens. First tarot card out is the Three of Swords. We're going to need more than that, lads. Is that the... Right, that's the undercurrent. Okay. Is that the rainbow? Right. The overarching is the Five of Swords. The plot thickens. Alright, give me the middle three, because I'm not fully seeing how this comes together with the others at the moment. Oh, I've got... Right. I'm being bollocked here by voices from various films and stuff. Yeah, we've got a Three of Cups in the immediate past, so it is a friendship reading here. Or it's a reading about community and being connected and that sort of stuff. I'm going to get these two out, but I promise you I will do the other ones first. Interesting. Right, got you. So, for our tarot middles, we have the Three of Cups, the Judgment, and the 10 of Pentacles in this remarkable black and gold Smith-Waite deck, which is very shiny. Shiny is a thing as well, because that makes me think of Firefly and being a good crew member in the spiritual sense, in like the Caroline Mace sense, because I think of, oh my god, what's she called? The ship's engineer that says shiny. Anyway, I know, alright. Working with goblins is like the worst. It's not the worst, it's the best, but it's chaotic. Right, so I'm being asked to go back to what the suit of the Labyrinth Dark Crystal cards are. So the Nine of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles without looking at friendship stuff. So, okay, so there's agitation around collaboration, taking on a practical designation. Yeah, there's something here, like there's an offering that we're making as a collaborative group, as a friendship circle, as a community, as a magical group, as a spiritual collaboration, something like that. And there's like a blockage to it, or not a blockage, it's, what is it? It's like a sense of worry about it, about how that's going to go, about... Got ya. Right, finally we got there. Variety. I think if you've come here, you are worried about collaborating with a person or people in either like a friendship or maybe even like a polyamorous sense, but that's only for some of you, in order to make some kind of product, project, offer, working, or shindig happen. And it's affected two of you more than it has everyone else, because we've got this Ludo Sarah thing. And usually my Sarah cards are the signifier for the querent, whether or not you are female identified or even like Sarah or the Labyrinth. It just tends to be a thing. So what I'm going to say is that you and your bestie, or you and the person you trust most, Ludo friend, are more worried than the rest of the group about how this is going to go. I think I love your whole vibe, and truthfully I'd give up everything for you. It's like you to each other, you and this other person. So I don't know whether it's you as a couple, or you're just like me and my best mate, where you're kind of doing the Jay and Silent Bob hetero life partner thing, even if you're non-hetero, which applies to us, right? It's sort of that having like almost like a sidekick. Not sidekick, that makes it feel like the other person's a lesser energy. It's not that. But having like a dynamic duo, let's say it like that. So there's this dynamic duo where you love each other's vibe and you give up everything for each other, and you guys are really solid. You guys have possibly been solid for years in whatever way, but you're entering a community. You're turning that kind of 2 vibe into a 3, and you're a bit worried about that. And that's where the fire gang come in. And like I said, it's that unpredictability enters in, right? The fire gang make me think of the number 5, even though this is a 3 card. because it's adding another chaotic element. It's adding too many voices, too many things, too many heads flying through the air being juggled. And the threat of losing your own head, because they can so easily remove theirs that they think yours comes off too, right? If you haven't seen the film, that's the crux of the Fire Gang. They're great fun, but you could lose your head in every sense, right? So there's this sense of like, do we trust these people? There's a wide variety of us now involved in this project. There's a good difference in backgrounds. There's people sort of coming in with different kinds of voices in a really useful way, and that's why we've got these varieties of friendships going on here. But whatever it is that you're trying to do or make or be, even, like, because the Ace of Pentacles could be like just hanging out in a place and forming the kind of demographic of that third space, or it could be like making something in a very abstract sense, like making a community. But whatever it is, whether it's something more concrete or something more like that, there's a sense of, do we trust these people enough to do all that with them? Do we want them here? And now I'm getting from Spirit an image of someone that I'm friends with who started, I don't know how much to give away about this. Let's say he started a venue, and I'll leave it at that, and is cultivating a kind of community that would enjoy that venue. But one wonders, attending that venue at different times and with different sets of people, how all of those groups are going to interrelate in the long term. And I think I'm seeing him because that's probably on his mind as well, because it's kind of like you open your doors and you go, the common ground is we all hang out in this way, or we all enjoy this thing, or we all have this kind of a vibe, so we're going to go to a place like this to do socializing, right? But then it's like almost, is that too broad? And how do I, within that demographic, how do we ensure that the space is kept positive and safe and genuinely collaborative and genuinely welcoming for everybody? Intersectionality might be a thing here, or like, I'm hearing for some of you there's like a bar or a venue or something that it's like, two of you have set this up. Notice this looks like a handshake as well. And it's almost like we want to invite this group of people to come and work with us to make it even better. But we also don't want it to get so kind of big and busy that maybe the wrong element are coming in and attracted to it too. Now I'm thinking of a thing I saw on Instagram that was about the cycle of essentially gentrification for a place, where you just get the artists coming in at first, and then it's like people hear that the artists are coming in, so then you get the Wall Street people coming in, and then it becomes a bigger venue and it makes more money. But then eventually in that cycle, the artists start to leave because it's all Wall Street guys. So then you've got like the place as a vibe depreciates and just becomes Wall Street guys looking at each other. And then it's like the thing that has become gentrified, that started as a cultural moment, has become just like another place, another, like the equivalent of another fucking Costa. Sorry. And then like that loses its spirit, so then they leave and it becomes a dive, and then the artists come back and the cycle starts again. There's something like that going on here, whether it be in a friendship sense or in the sense of genuinely trying to create something. But it's almost like you shaking on it with your dynamic duo partner, your Ludo if you like, and you're a little bit scared of now the introduction of extra people. And again, if this is a relationship sense, this might be a couple who is looking to expand beyond just being two, but like some of the elements that might attract aren't really what you're going for. So it's like, well, how do we filter and keep in communication with each other so that we can include other elements, we can have variety in that sense, but the integrity of the project or the relationship or the place or whatever it is that we're building here is kept the way that we originally envisioned it, is what I want to say. Particularly because Nine of Swords is about thinking late at night. Okay, so if we move that into tarot, now we've got sort of a loose context. Oh, actually, before we do, what we need to address here is what's been put on a pedestal and why. Usually I get that in a negative context in a relationship sense, but I think here it's actually referring to, okay, so what was your original idea as a duo for this project, for this magical working, for this venue, for this relationship, whatever it is, right? For this, the Uru all gathered. Because it's only then, once you have that in really concrete terms, that you can loop back around and say, well, are this group right for it? Are they too volatile? Or do they in fact lead us to the ending of the movie in a really beneficial way? And are they actually the variety we need? Or the spontaneity and fun that we need? Because bear in mind that for many people, these are their favourite characters of the film, right? So it's like adding an ingredient that Ludo and Sarah don't bring. There's like a simultaneous acknowledgement here that there needs to be more than just you guys, and that will lead to better, but also there is a filtration system in that process, and there is, after the initial selection of who else is involved, there is a distillation that works it back down to the original idea and its fruition. It's kind of like you're expanding to reduce, or you're getting more variety in order to hone back in on what it is that's truly wanted within all the options. Yeah? Okay, so the undercurrent being the Three of Swords is really interesting. In a literal sense, this can be like grief, heartbreak, stuff like that, but in a reading like this, I almost want to say that some of the sort of feelings of fear or closed offness about expanding this into more of a group thing are coming from adverse past experiences in a very literal way. Whether that's for both of you or just one of you, it's like there is somebody here with the rain in the imagery as well. There's someone being like, this will not rain on my parade, in quite a stubborn fashion. But actually it's from a place of fear. It's not from a place of, excitement for something different and new. It's almost like you're coming into a fun, vibrant party situation where you could be networking, you could be socialising, and you're doing a thing where you just stand in the kitchen and kind of wait for people to come to you. It's that sort of a vibe of like, yeah, I've had bad experiences just wandering around chatting to new people, so I'm just going to stay here. But then you don't do the networking, right? And that could be literal, or it could be just like a microcosm of the macrocosmic in that sense. And then the overarching thing being a Five of Swords is like, it's just that, it's an echo of that similar feeling again, but rather than being from past experiences making you nervous, it's more of a like projection into the future of, is this going to go as badly as it could, right? Is this going to, particularly for you because you're the one coming to the reading, so you might have more worries than whoever Ludo is on this. You might be in a more Nine of Swords place, where you're kind of up at night going, oh, have I made a mistake here by saying that this was a good idea? And it's that projection of like, you know, even if we win the battle, are we going to lose the war in this sense? So those are the kind of influences moving around. And then immediate past, we've got the Three of Cups, which is just literally friendship, collaboration, maybe partying, maybe meeting that fire gang, whoever they are, and sort of talking about making a 2 or 3 and talking about shared goals as well, because here, I mean, this could be a ritual thing as well, but they're all raising their glasses to the same point in the sky, right? So it's again echoing this Uru type ritualization thing of all aiming for the same outcome whilst gathering together in different ways and from different places. And with the Uru, as opposed to the Urskeks in Dark Crystal, like the Urskeks are kind of like, because the Skeksis are fun characters, because they're very camp, it's difficult, like, unless you've read all the extended material and nerd out like I do, to sort of tell one Skeksis from the other. Whereas with the Uru, they are the counterparts for those Skeksis. So like one will be a weaver, one will be a chanter, one will be, I don't know, will kind of keep the accounts of the group. It'd be like a scribe, etc., etc. And it's more obvious with them. It's more demonstrable on this kind of light side than it is with the Skeksis. So they're all coming in with very different influences, but they're doing the same thing. So in the same way that the cups are raising to the sky, these are extending to the fire and to the sand mandala in the middle, and they're all raising their voices in this particular scene to harmonize into one tone. Not a note, a tone. Because they are all different voices, but they do this like Beach Boys type thing in a very low Gregorian kind of a way. And then the resonance of that, you know, multivalent sound brings about magical effect. If you haven't seen The Dark Crystal and you're a practicing magician, just watch it. It's so good. It's so good. So many apt metaphors in it. Jim Henson's a genius. So yeah, there's this sense of like recent past is bringing all these different people and influences together, or maybe experimenting with like just trying to find a third, or just trying to find a bit of a group for this, and raising voices together in one song, raising cups together in one event, bringing ideas to the table, bringing emotions into each of you, adding your different emotions symbolized by the cups into one integrated idea, one pentacle, as we spoke about, right? Then in the present tense, we've got judgment in the upright. This is like a call, a vocation, an inner calling towards something, a sense that something is true and right. Also, with this rising of the dead, if you didn't see my zombie reading, which was the last one, which was very heavy, and trigger warning if you do watch it, but there might be something in there that's relevant to this as well. Yeah, judgment is like, I mean, it's Gabriel's trumpet is being blown, so there's more about vibration and sound. This could even be a band thing, particularly if you saw my revenge reading where there was like a band member being persnickety at one point. But there's this idea of aligned vibration, common tonality, and being woken by the sound that you all make together, or indeed by Gabriel's trumpet here, and kind of risen from a state of suspended animation, I want to say, because of these figures rising from the grave. So it's like, again, this thing of common goals of bringing stuff together. But the difference here is that while in the Three of Cups we're all raising our glasses to the same idea, in the judgment, that idea is taking form in a very like extra human, dramatic, archangelic way, and we're kind of offering praise to that. So it's almost as if like the difference between the immediate past and the present in terms of thinking about what a group dynamic would do to this is that the more you think about it, the more it seems like aligned or spiritually brought about, or something that's like being moved towards you by some greater force, which is possibly why you're seeing it in this reading, right? Because Gabriel is kind of at work here. Interesting that it's Gabriel, because as well as the trumpet bearer, he is the angel of the cups, right? So you've got that, again, that follow through. And you don't have to be Abrahamic in your practice or anything for that to work. It's just like a neat symbology thing. Okay, and then immediate future. Despite the overarching themes of like, oh no, in the past this had problems, and oh no, in the future, even if we win, will we lose though? What you're actually getting is legacy. What you're actually getting is not just one pentacle, as symbolised by this, but a whole 10, right? Something that could carry on long into the future, something that you could contribute that would outlast yourselves, something that would be not just bigger than the two of you, but bigger than all of you. And I want to say, if this is a financial venture, an extremely successful one, an extremely profitable one, that might be worth the extra time with the fire gang. I'm being told to pick another message. Is it that one or that one? What's this one? Let's spice things up. So for some of you, this is very much that like, let's broaden our relationship, should we say? And in that case, the Ten of Pentacles is something which has more stability for its numeration. It's almost like if you were worried that adding more variety to this would make it more unstable, like adding legs to a chair in a sort of rickety way, then this is, Spirit is countering that by saying, no, the more pentacles you have here, the more component parts are in this, actually, the better it will be for the original two. That's just for those for whom this is about opening up a relationship. But what I'm seeing, if it's not as well, is the tower in the background. But it's like a positive image of the tower. It's not the tower card and things coming crashing down. It's a very healthy, stable looking tower with a healthy foundation. So this is again like building something from the ground up, collaboratively with a large group of people that serves a large group of people, or that is, you know, a place that a lot of people go to, a thing that a lot of people use, an environment or a party that a lot of people keep talking about in a positive way. You know, take it how you see fit, because it is general. But it's like something with firm foundations and something that everybody can relate back to. So when I went back to that thing about like, you know, if you're making a venue or something and you're like a little bit worried about how these demographics are all going to mix, the answer is that they will all bring their own contribution to it. And in the end, it becomes a very stable, sturdy, common ground in a way. I mean, these pentacles, they're not just like accumulated money or accumulated legacy. They're not just possible futures and abundance and stuff. They're also forming a tree of life. So there is a cohesive structure to this, a spiritual structure, which I think is notable if this is about a magical working as well. It's not to say that you need to go in the Kabbalistic direction or anything, but it's to say that, you know, you're essentially like, this thing is forming the path of the flaming sword. It's forming this like, almost like what appears to be new is reinforcing something ancient for you. So I don't know whether that will hit for someone as well, but it's definitely like a reassurance. I'm hearing Oh Happy Days now in my head, and I'd never would listen to that song or think of it really, so that's going to be a good sign. Then we've got a Queen of Pentacles reversed. It's interesting. Kira in the reverse. I'm already getting something on that. And then at the top of the deck, because that was at the bottom, we've got a Ten of Wands in the reverse with Jareth from Labyrinth. I nearly said Jared, so there might be a Jared watching. Sorry, it was that one, not that one. And there's another Jareth here with a Five of Wands in reverse. So I think that's just to confirm what I was going to say about it actually, so ignore me. For those of you for whom you and Ludo identify as male and female respectively, you know, however you were born or whatever, but for those of you where there is like a masculine feminine dynamic, either to your literal identifications or to the roles involved, where one of you is more the active force, one of you is the more seductive force. There's like a what are they called? Like a positive and negative electron. Sorry, my brain's, it's very late. My brain is very late, you know what I mean? Yeah, so for those of you for whom you guys are on a polarity, even before this group comes in and you're kind of working counter to each other in a very counterpart balanced way, what I want to do is read each of you. So the more feminine of that is symbolised by this Queen of Pentacles reverse with Kira in the reverse, and notice she's got a cat's cradle, so again she's like weaving something, she's making something, she's spinning fate in this card. With it being the reverse and it being Kira sticks out to me for a particular line where she grows wings and helps save the day, and then Jen, her male counterpart, remarks something like, you can fly, or oh my god you have wings, and she goes, yeah, of course I do, I'm a girl. Which is very interesting because it's like almost like, of course I'm doing this role within this. Of course I have these qualities within this dynamic. I'm a girl. But with this being on the flip, I don't know that saying, I'll do this bit because I'm the girl is the healthiest for this as a starting point before you introduce the group stuff. You know, again, professionally, personally, whatever. And with a Queen of Pentacles reverse, there's like financial instability to that. So the first thing I would say is whether you're Kira or whether the other person is Kira in this, whether you're the Sarah figure or that you're actually the Ludo and the other person is Sarah. Sorry if this is getting a bit, you know. The feminine of this perhaps needs to take on the more masculine role within the dynamic for it to be at its optimum beneficial potential, right? Whatever that means to you. If that's a sex thing or a kink thing, that'll become obvious, right? It's a sort of, I don't want to be too traditionalist or bullshit about female roles, but very traditionally and stereotypically, that's a sub-dom dynamic, isn't it? And the sub would be the feminine or the yin, and you want to flip that in this case, right? If it's more of a professional thing, then think about who is doing the more pink colour stuff within that thing currently, and if it is the Kira person or the feminine, you might want to switch that and swap. Or equally, if it's like a friendship thing and someone's putting like a girly energy in, maybe they could mix that up a bit and add some more nuances of other aspects of their personality to it. There's just like a thing of course I can, I'm a girl, being flipped on its head, and that being the weaving of a successful project with this cat's cradle thing. To talk about the masculine in this dynamic, so the Ludo, if that's you or if that's the other person, and speak about it using Jareth, tells me that there is an element of an unhealthy masculine or unhealthy masculine influences upon this person, and that might indeed be part of this like backdrop stuff that we see. So maybe this person has had a father or a boss or another male figure in their life, a boyfriend even, be not so great. Confirmation for some of you on the boyfriend. And with it being a 10 of wands, the implication is that that person overburdened them so that they couldn't step into their healthy role, right? So that, because I mean, Jareth in the end is a king, he's a goblin king, right? So you've got the king counterpart to this queen energy that we've already seen with the Queen of Pentacles, but it's flipped and it's like held back from that by burden. Oh wow, suddenly this is really resonating for someone I know and me. I didn't expect that, sorry. Anywho, if you're seeing this, hi, you know who you are, or maybe you don't, but earth sign person that's watching this that I'm very close to, hi. Yeah, so this masculine may have had somebody, masculine, feminine or otherwise, have sort of negative traits towards them, boss them around a bit, or like otherwise diminish their capability for leadership by overburdening them in whatever role. So professionally, this could be like giving them too many shifts, making them work so hard that they can't actually lead in another area or at work, right? If they're creative outside of work, maybe they don't have time to do that anymore. If they're sort of one of the bosses or the boss in work, it's like people are giving them too much to do that isn't to do with that, so that they can't then lead in a kingly, healthy, kind of divine kingship way. If it's more social, there is someone in this person's life who has overburdened them emotionally because of this Three of Swords, or like with ideas, with sad ideas, so that they weren't as capable of running a project like this in the past. So that's affected their self-esteem and self-concept in terms of making it work in the present or the future. If it is relational, then they may have literally had an abusive boyfriend or just an abusive partner of some kind who has maybe sort of stabbed them through the heart a little bit and made it feel like asking for a variety or wanting to open up the relationship is either something that they shouldn't be entitled to in some kind of unhealthy way, or it's something they don't feel capable of because they associate that variety with betrayal, because the swords through the heart are sometimes literally being stabbed in the back by someone, right, cheated on, etc. This person could have had a really bad experience with polyamory in the sense that someone else used the language of it to essentially cheat on them. And I'm maybe not the best reader to deliver this because I've had periods in open relationships and I eventually come to a decision that's really not for me, and that there's ethical problems with it in terms of certain demographics trying it, being more privileged than others. So for me, it's not right for me. But if this is a person who it's right for, they might have just had a really bad experience with someone kind of talking or demonstrating them out of it, right? And it's kind of, if you're not this person, it's your job to maybe say, do you think any of this is being influenced by that bad experience you had? And can we talk about that? And can we really delve into it before we open it up so that we're really strong as our duo before we invite the fire gang. So there are lots of different interpretations for this. Again, general reading, large audience. I'm sorry it's not more specific, but if you do want specificity, you can book with me. 20% off throughout August, by the way. But let's just say that the roles of the two people who are adding to being the four people, etc., confirmation, in order to do whatever this Ace of Pentacles is, whether it's make a place, make a thing, do a ritual, just come together for a laugh, whatever it is, there needs to be just a discussion about common ground you already hold, shared aspiration, how you think testing the waters of this with the Three of Cups already went, what it is that you are putting on pedestal in order to want this variety, in order to talk about making things a more various experience, why it is that you value variety would be a really good conversation to have. And indeed what you both bring to it in terms of negative past experiences, projections and fears about the future, but also like why you still want this to work the way it's going to work. And I think that if you do that and if you discuss your roles within it thoroughly following this reading, it will work. It will be a legacy thing. It will be something that makes both of you and the people around you and anyone who benefits from your services, ritualizations, sexualities, you name it, all very happy people, all doing well long into the future. It's a very positive reading, right? So I hope that helped you. If it did, please like, subscribe, ding the dong, thank you kindly. I wish you luck in your various endeavours, in every sense. Don't fear the chaos. Be prepared enough as a team to embrace it. And I think you'll be surprised how much fun and abundance you can have.